Hello there. I'm so excited today. I'm sharing my lovely friend Tara O'Brien with you guys. I'm really excited to interview Tara and also to share some of her knowledge with you all. She's one of those friends that I often go to when I need tips and advice on anything to do with health and well-being. Like, what does Tara think about this? She's got all kinds of knowledge on that. So, Tara, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it. Great to see you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's great. So I'd love to um, my listeners are really interested in particularly that kind of juggle between motherhood and business and like how you manage the two. So I don't know if you'd like to talk to that a little bit about your own entrepreneurial journey and where you've come from and where you're at the moment.
Sure, I would love to. And again, thank you so much for having me today. I think that as women, we are always trying to do too much, right? We always take on more than we can possibly handle. And I think that's part of what started me down the health journey. I came from corporate America, working, very A-type person, working. And then I had kids. And, when you have kids, that throws everything up in the air. And
yeah, suddenly everything looks different, doesn't it? You're like,
yeah.
I wasn't quite expecting this. Okay.
Suddenly everything's different, and suddenly your priorities are different too.
Yeah.
You want to have time with the family, but you also want to have your career. And so what I like to say, a lot of times, we talk about finding balance. And what I like to say is there's actually balance in the unbalance.
Yeah.
Right? Because you really can't balance things. It's about prioritizing what's important to you and what makes the most sense and what's going to give you joy and love in your life. Because that's, at the end of the day, that's what you want, right? You want to be successful. You want to have your family. You want to have it all, but you've got to find the right way to do it, because in reality, you can't have it all the way we would like it.
Yeah.
But you can have it all if you prioritize.
Yeah.
And about just making the right decisions.
Yeah, it's figuring out what the real priorities are for yourself, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
what did you get started with then, business-wise? When did you get started?
So about 5 years ago, I started really delving more into health and wellness, and that included, learning better ways to cook at home that were simple and easy, because that's where I felt like I could make the most impact for my family. Eating clean and having a good diet, that's going to help us, because if you have an empty tank that you're not filling with good food, it doesn't matter what you do, you don't have anything to give. You've got to have a full tank. So I started down that road, and then really got more and more into health and wellness, and then studied to become a health coach, just because I felt like there are so many women out there that actually need just that little bit of assistance. It's kind of, that you should eat healthy and exercise, but do you know exactly the steps that you need to take personally? And, again, it's different for everyone, which is what I love about health coaching, because you can really customize it for the needs of each person, which is really great.
Yeah, because it's unique as it goes. So you kind of started that journey. Your kids are, I think, middle schoolers, is that right?
I have a almost 11-year-old and a 13-year-old.
Right.
So it was kind of, once my youngest was in kindergarten,
I
felt like, okay, now I can give more time to things that are important to me, because they are in school, and obviously freed up a lot more time for me. And that's not always the case. Sometimes you're a working mom from the moment you have your child, and that's a whole other challenge as well. But it's something that, it's a personal choice. So
that's awesome. So then you kind of got started with particularly like the health coaching and so tell us a little bit more about the health coaching and the kind of work that you're doing now. I know we talked a couple of weeks ago about some of the fun ways that you're doing that. So give us
absolutely. I mean, the greatest thing, and I'll show you guys a little picture. I don't know if you'll be able to see it very well. It's up on my wall behind me, but there's this circle of life that we call it.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And it's essentially, when you're thinking about your health, it's not only about what you eat. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously what you eat is really important, but it's not the only thing. It's not the be all end all. So in integrative nutrition, what we do is we look at everything in your life. So we look at, how's your social life going? How's your career going? How is your physical activity? How's your health overall? You know, think about those things that you wouldn't necessarily think actually are part of your health.
Not just about what you're putting into your mouth. It's actually
Yeah.
the rest of your life as well.
Because let's face it, if you're stressed in your career, if you're stressed in your family environment, if you are not finding ways to release that stress, that's impacting not only how your body is working and how everything is connected, but it's also what you're going to eat. Because are you going to stress eat? Are you eating more carbs because you didn't get enough sleep? Are you eating carbs because something didn't go your way? I mean, there's so many things involved in what you're eating and how your body's processing what you're eating. So that's why I just love this integrated approach, because it's really great to understand how your body and your life are really interconnected.
Yeah, and it's a lovely, like, so, you know, holistic approach, properly, like the whole of your life, not just one area.
Exactly.
And if you were looking, sort of, if you're just going to narrow the focus in, say, to the sort of nutrition and the food area, I know you've got a couple of fun ways that you help people, like, in that. Would you like to talk about that, like the pantry thing? And
Sure. Yeah. I mean, so a lot of times, you know, people do know what they should be eating, but not fine tuned enough. You know, they know the broad strokes.
yeah,
So what I do is, a lot of times I'll take a group of women and we go on a supermarket tour, and
yeah,
I bring them around the grocery store and show them. So, you know, obviously, you know, the fresh veggies and fruits, they're going to be great, right? We know that that's a great area of the grocery store. But once you get into the middle, it's a little murkier, right?
yeah.
You don't actually know, like, okay, well, this says it's healthy, but is it really? And, you know, we
Labeling
can all,
so
yeah.
confusing.
The labeling is terrible. There's not labeling properly in a lot of things. So it's really up to you as the consumer to understand what the label means, how you can break it down. There are good things that you can find in the middle of the grocery store, because I'm all about finding things that are quick and easy, because, you know, as a mom and an entrepreneur, I've got, you know, 16 things going on, but I still have to get a healthy meal on the table. So I understand that I've got to be able to find those quick fixes that are still
the
healthy.
healthiest kind of versions of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we go through and we look through and, you know, go through the freezer section and say, okay, this is a great place to get your frozen vegetables, or this meal is actually, you could use part of it and it's not so bad. So that you understand that you have options and that you're not expected to be in the kitchen for an hour every day cooking a homemade meal.
Some nights, you know, it's just not realistic, is it? Oh, yeah.
No, it's not. And, you know, a lot of times I teach my clients how to meal prep, because I think, you know, when you don't know at 4 o'clock what you're going to eat, that you're setting yourself up for failure, right?
Yeah.
Because that's going to be a takeout meal or something processed.
Not necessarily healthy, but it can be. Yeah.
Exactly. But there are ways you can make it happen without slaving.
Yeah. So what would be, just while we're talking about that, what would be like one or two of your favorite sort of pretty quick, pretty easy, kind of healthy meals? Like that kind of the 4 o'clock, you look in the fridge, like, oh my goodness, I've got to feed the whole family. What can I do that's healthy? What are your go-tos?
Yeah, I mean, so some of my go-tos, like, so last night I had a plan and then realized that I didn't actually have everything I needed, which happens sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So I was, okay, I'm going to just adapt. So it was great, quick and easy. I had some chicken breast that I just chopped up. And this is one of my favorite things: chop up chicken breast and just, you know, saute it in a pan. And you can throw in vegetables, throw in a seasoning, and then you either have rice or quinoa or something with it, and there's your dinner. So, I mean, it was easy. Last night we had butternut squash. We had some chicken roasted with fennel. and some rosemary, and then I had some quinoa and threw in some wilted greens.
Great.
Easy, quick dinner.
Yeah.
You know, you can always throw, again, chicken in the oven for half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm always about the sauces. Like, sauces are great and easy for flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have picky eaters at home, it's great to have a couple of different sauces.
One of those, yeah.
So you can just roast the chicken plain,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have usually like a sauce display that people are able to choose which sauce they like.
Yeah.
And that's a fun way to also to get the kids involved. Like, they feel like they're contributing.
Mm-hmm.
But that is one of my other big tips, though, is get the kids in the kitchen helping you, even from a young age, because that's going to make a huge difference in how they're eating, and that takes a lot of burden off of you.
Yeah, I know there's a great TED talk by Jamie Oliver, like chef in the UK.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and the part, I can't remember all of it, but part of it, they went into some classrooms and they were showing these vegetables to the kids, and they literally didn't know what they were. There was a potato that was all like mucky and dirty because it came out of the ground. They didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Little kids. Like, even that, you're like, oh my goodness, no. So I think it's part of helping them to be healthy, isn't it? To giving them these, like chopping up carrots. My little guy loves to do that, carrots and red peppers and things like that. And if they chop them, they're way more likely to eat them as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes a difference. When they're involved, it makes a difference. My kids had their own little knife and cutting set, like with the little protective glove, from when they were 4 years old.
Yeah. And hey, soon I'll be able to cook dinner for you properly. You've got that in your sights now.
I've got it in my sights. We talk about it, that they do help. They do help, but soon they are able to do it themselves, which would be nice.
That'll be a whole new level.
That'll be a whole new level, exactly.
That's awesome. One of the other things I know you mentioned to me before, so I think the supermarket kind of coaching, or whatever you call it, sounds fantastic. And the other thing you mentioned to me was a pantry makeover, because often you're sort of looking at pantry, you don't really know what you need or how you can set it up to just make it easy then to be healthy. I know that's one of the things that you offer as well as part of your coaching. So
yeah, I do, because a lot of times, you look into the pantry and there's a lot of quick and easy convenient snacks that are just not necessarily so healthy. So I'm all about, well, let's take the temptation out, right? Because if it's there, you're going to eat it.
Yeah.
So if we take that out of the equation and then show you how to stock your pantry with, first of all, things that you can use for quick, easy dinners. I mean, I'm all about having all different kinds of beans. Canned beans there are really great. You can throw that in for a great extra protein. And just looking for healthier snacks that you can have on hand. Whether it's, low sugar, like nut, if you can have nuts, low sugar granola bars are a great option. You want to just have things that are easy to grab, but not bad for the waistline or for
or for health,
or for your sugar content.
Yeah, exactly. And I know, like me, you're a big believer in avoiding the artificial sweeteners. So low sugar doesn't mean like put in the nasty chemicals. It means like a naturally low sugar one. So that's
absolutely. And I think the biggest thing about eating healthy that people need to remember is that eating healthy doesn't mean eating bad, like eating something that tastes bad. You want to eat food that tastes good. I mean, you want it to be palatable, and there are plenty of options of foods that taste great. And like you said, you can use natural sugars like honey to make things that really are delicious. I mean, we make our own granola bars, as well as we do have ones from the store for when we need the quick, easy go-to, But there's a lot of things that you can make at home as well that really make things quick and easy and delicious, but healthy.
Yeah. So have you got any sort of tips maybe on meal prep for people? How do you set yourself up? You've got a busy family life, busy, hectic business as well. What, I guess probably on a Sunday, what are the kind of things that you do for a week? Maybe that's something that would be helpful for people to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say, for me, it works on a Sunday, but I always tell people you choose the day that works for you.
Mhm.
If Wednesday works better for you, choose a Wednesday. You know, it's whatever day you're going to do it is the day
Yeah.
that I want you to sit down and do it. So I sit down and I look at what does our week look like. So, you know, we've got after school activities or events, or maybe I'm
Mhm.
working. So I look at what our weeknights look like. And so I plan it all out on Sunday, usually head to the grocery store. And then depending on how the week is, sometimes on a Sunday, I'll actually cook 2 meals because
Right.
I'm already in the kitchen. I'll cook Sunday night's dinner and I'll cook dinner for maybe Monday or Tuesday if I know that our week is busy. For
Yeah.
us, Tuesday is always a really slammed day where my
Mhm.
daughter has about half an hour to eat between activities. And
Right.
so
Yeah.
having something already cooked for Tuesday that I just have to reheat for her is really ideal.
Yeah.
So I always encourage people to look, what does your week look like? And then you can make a plan that fits your needs for that week. And
Yeah.
it's not always going to be the same. So you need to be fluid in that.
Mm.
Another great thing to do is, again, we eat a lot of chicken in our house because it's just so versatile. So like I'll take a sheet pan and divide it with some tin foil, and
Oh,
I'll put chicken in each different section and then season it with different seasonings.
that's a good tip. Yeah.
So you've got
You've
different
got like
flavors.
Italian corner, Mexican corner, whatever.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
And that way, you know, you're getting different flavors, but you've also pre-cooked your chicken. So then part of the meal is already complete,
Yeah. So
which
whether
is
it's a
great.
salad or then a stir fry or whatever later in the week.
Exactly.
And do you tend to use coconut oil, I guess, or olive oil?
I use coconut oil, I use grapeseed oil, I use avocado oil,
Mhm.
just anything that you're going to roast in the oven. If it's above 350 degrees, you do not want to use olive oil. Um,
Right. Yeah.
so anything above 350, you want to use an avocado or a grapeseed oil.
Mhm.
Coconut oil and olive oil, both about 350 is their max.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
Cool. And do you do things like pre-boiling eggs and sort of maybe some of the grains as well for the week? I used to do that. I've got out of the habit, I must admit. But
Yeah, I mean, I do. I make a lot of quinoa, so
Mhm.
usually, like, I'll make a huge batch of quinoa on the Sunday, and then I can put that in various things during the week.
Right.
Um, I also sometimes do a big thing of overnight oatmeal in the crock pot.
Oh, in the crock pot, really? Cool.
Yeah, my daughter likes to have that in the morning, and so
Mhm.
we'll just make a big batch of it on Sunday night, and that gets her through a couple of days.
Yeah.
Um, and I love to make egg muffins. Egg muffins are the best. They're easy. Just
Mhm.
make them right in a muffin tin, and you can put in really whatever you have on hand. I
Yeah.
like to use spinach and peppers and usually just a tiny bit of Parmesan cheese. I try not to do too much dairy, but I
Right.
do sprinkle a little bit of Parmesan on those. And
Mhm.
then you just have to heat those up during the week, which is really great.
Yeah, so it's a good kind of on-the-go breakfast
Exactly.
for you when you're dashing out the door. Awesome.
Exactly.
Got some great tips in there. Thank you. You know, we really shouldn't have scheduled this at lunchtime because
I
well,
should have given you some food to go with it.
I know, right? What
But
else?
actually, I was just going to say, because you said a lunchtime tip, another thing that I love to do is do salads in a jar. And
Oh, the mason jar thing.
yes.
They look so cute on Pinterest. Yeah.
And the great thing is, like, here's my best tip to you. Do
Mhm.
it with a group of friends on a Sunday afternoon
Oh,
or a Saturday afternoon. You get together and everyone brings a topping that's chopped.
yeah.
Because the biggest issue is when you're making those is you don't want to sit and chop all the different vegetables that you want to have in your salad. So you only, maybe do one or two instead of as many as you would really like to have.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's a good idea.
we get people together, we have a little party, everyone brings a topping, and then everybody walks out with 4 to 5 salads for the week. And it's all the chopping's been done for you. So it's great. And it's
And
just so
get
quick and easy.
social time and nice cup of tea as well.
Exactly. You get social time with your friends, which is critical
Hmm.
for success in your life. You've got to have that friend time.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. Good tip there as well. Awesome. Have you got any other tips on the kind of juggling motherhood and business? Anything kind of on from that point of view?
Yeah, what I was thinking about when I was getting ready for this is that, we're all stressed, right? And when we're stressed, our brains aren't working properly, right? So we're not maximizing our potential because we're too stressed.
Mm.
And so really taking the time for some self-care is really important. And people say, I don't have time for that. You don't have time not to have time for that because you
It's
have to do it.
Yeah.
It's so important. If you're not recharging, again, like we said about eating healthy and filling your bucket,
Yeah.
filling your bucket is about self-care as well. And whether that's spending time with friends or whether that's, going to the gym or spending time doing some meditation, it's what's going to fill you.
Yeah.
Is so important. So self-care is like number one. But
Yeah.
I going back to meditation, you have to find a way to relieve stress. If you're not relieving that stress, that pressure, you can't function properly. So it's, things like a breathing technique. So one that I absolutely love, it kind of resets your nervous system. You breathe in for 4 through your nose, and then you hold for 7, and then you release through your mouth for 8. And you do that 4 times. So you breathe in your nose for 4.
In for 4.
Hold your breath for 7.
Hold for 7.
And then release for 8 through your mouth.
So 4, 7, 8. Okay.
And you do it 4 times.
I think I've heard that called the Xanax breath. Is that right?
It's kind of like that because it resets your nervous system.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Because when we're in that stressed state, we're in the stress response. I forget which way. Go on, correct me.
You're parasympathetic and you're
sympathetic.
Sympathetic, yes.
I'm not sure. One of them's really stressed and the other one's not. I mean, you from the stressed one to the not so stressed one.
Exactly.
Well, clearly, your whole body functions better then as well, doesn't it? Like your digestion and everything.
Absolutely.
Because when you're stressed, when you're in that stress state, that's how the body's responding.
Yeah, I mean, when you're completely stressed out, your body doesn't understand that you're not being chased by a bear, right?
Exactly.
It activates that fight or flight.
Yeah.
And then it just is trying to save you.
Yeah.
So it shuts down. What people don't know is when that is activated, it shuts down a lot of processes in your body.
Yeah.
So everything they think is non-essential, like digestion, reproduction, like people who have fertility issues, a lot of times it's because you're stressed, right?
Yeah.
Because those things are shut down because they're not essential for you escaping the bear.
Yeah.
Your body doesn't understand the difference. So it's finding ways to let that cortisol go, because the problem is when you're chronically stressed, your body then no longer can respond to all the cortisol that's being released.
Right.
So people are saying like, geez, I'm tired all the time, or I can't lose weight, or any of these problems that women commonly have. You got to take a deep breath and realize like, wow, is it because I'm so super stressed?
For like over a long period, not just like in the moment
like,
when the bear or the saber-toothed tiger is chasing you, this stress becomes something that lasts for weeks, months, years.
Yes.
And it's finding a way to break that cycle. And I think meditation is a fantastic way to do that. And
meditation, breath work alone, because so I was just listening to a great summit the other day, and they were talking about how maybe 10 years ago, the average number of breaths a person took per minute was 10. And how many breaths do you think we take a minute now?
Oh, gosh. I have no idea.
19.
19. Wow. 19. So almost double, because we're breathing really shallowly. And
how many breaths should we be taking a minute?
Oh, I don't know. Go on.
6.
6, really? Wow. All right, I'm getting really self-conscious about my breathing now.
So we are not breathing in as we should be. We're doing shallow breaths, which are not nourishing your body, are not giving you the oxygen that you need. So even just taking a few deep breaths and being mindful of your breathing makes a huge difference in how your body is handling that stress response.
Yeah. Wow. That's fantastic. Yeah. Hmm. Cool. And any sort of specific, so I think breathing is a big one. Anything else? I know people talk a lot about vitamin D and how we're often vitamin D deficient. Is that something you're passionate about as well?
I am very passionate about that because vitamin D is something everybody is deficient in. We're inside most of the day, and even if we're outside, we're not out without sunscreen on, or
Yeah.
we're just not getting those sun rays that we really need. So everybody is deficient. You know, a traditional doctor will tell you at 30 you're fine, which is the level that they consider okay.
Okay.
But functional medicine says that really to be really healthy and really get all the processes working in your body, which vitamin D is really critical for just about every process in your body.
Yeah.
Um, it's actually a hormone, not a vitamin. I mean, it has the funny name of vitamin D, but it's actually a hormone that works in your body. Um, and so for it to be working optimally, it should be between 50 and 80, with 60
Right.
kind of being the sweet spot.
Right.
Um,
Uh-huh.
so you can overdose on vitamin D. So it is something that you do want to work with your doctor with.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
you want to get your levels tested, find out where you are, and then hopefully
Mm.
your doctor's open to the idea that you want to get into the 50 to 80 range.
Yeah.
And you want to work with them to find out, depending on what your level is, how much you need to supplement, and then likely have to have it checked again in about 6 months' time,
Right. See how it's
just to
going.
make sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very cool. Good advice there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any what's sort of one of your favorite books? I was going to ask you about book recommendations. I know you're an avid reader. We talk about books when we get together. And
Yes.
it's hard to choose just like one or two, but if you had to give a recommendation, what would you suggest?
Yes, I do love books and I do love to read. So it is tough. I feel like there's not enough hours in the day for me to read all the books
I
that I would
know.
love
Yeah,
to.
I'm the same. I'm the same. Yeah, so
But,
many.
one of my favorite kind of go-to books that I feel like never gets old is The Four Agreements.
Oh, uh, Miguel Aruz, is it? How do you say?
Yes, Alves, I believe.
Alvarez? Yeah,
Um,
four agreements.
and I have I'll just, because I have the little Four Agreements right here that I like to read it like every now and again, just
Yeah.
what they
Oh,
are
yeah.
to kind of remind me, because I think it's just a good way to be in life.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
the first one is be impeccable with your word, right? I mean,
Mm,
if you don't have your word, you don't have anything, right? You need to live with integrity.
yeah.
So that's a great one. The second one is don't take anything personally. And that's a hard one.
That's a hard one, isn't it? Yeah, we do. I'm
It
just.
is so easy to take things personally and think, okay, well, this is all about me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not most of the time, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time it has nothing to do with you, but it's hard to not take things personally. So
Yeah.
I think that one is one I always have to go back and remind myself, like, it's
Yeah.
not about you.
That's a good reminder. Yeah.
Don't make assumptions. That's another one, kind of ties in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
Yeah.
assume that you know what's going on with someone, or that you know why something happened. You don't know.
There's so much that you probably don't know. Yeah.
Exactly. And then just always do your best.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I love that one. There's a quote from Maya Angelou that I also love, which is essentially, when you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
And, until you know better, you're doing the best you can. And, in life with my kids, I always say, like, I'm doing the best I can. And if you're doing that, then you're doing okay.
Yeah,
Um,
that's right. And we're here on this journey, aren't we? And growing and learning all the time. So then that better keeps improving. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. And I think for moms, we definitely have to kind of take that deep breath and say, you're enough.
Yeah.
You're enough.
Yeah. And you're doing great.
Yeah, exactly. Because we easily beat ourselves up on that, because we are trying to do a lot. And of course, we want the best for our kids and our family and our business.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's just taking that deep breath and saying, okay, I'm enough.
Yeah. I'm doing the very best that I can. Yeah, that is wonderful. Great stuff. And so, Tara, where can our listeners find you if they'd like to find out some more and connect with you? What's the
Yes,
best?
they can visit me at my website, which is liveloveandthrivecoaching.com.
liveloveandthrivecoaching.com. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
They can also email me at it's Tara at liveloveandthrivecoaching.com. So
Okay.
either places, they can go onto my website, and I have a free newsletter which talks about health and wellness that goes out once a month. And I also have a Facebook group where I post lots of quick and easy recipes. And
I'm in the group, and it's awesome. And
I'm glad.
I love it's so practical as well. And you'll post, oh look, I just found this I don't know, cauliflower crust pizza base thing at Trader Joe's. Like, this is really cool. So they're like just real life tips and advice, and this is how you can live a little bit healthier. It's just like those little incremental steps, isn't it? To just help.
It is.
Health.
It's all about simple steps. I mean, as a health coach, I never give, okay, you need to do these 10 things in order to get healthy, because that's not achievable. We all know success is in doing simple things that you can achieve one at a time.
Yeah, just incrementally. That was awesome. Thank you so much, Tara. It's been wonderful to chat with you. Did you have anything else that you wanted to share? I think
I gave some good nuggets, hopefully, for people.
Yeah,
and obviously, if they have more information, they can feel free to reach out to me. I love helping people, and if they're interested in coaching, they can find out more on my website or contact me directly.
Yeah, and I love that the coaching is not just like your traditional like one-to-one coaching, but it's actually kind of hands-on as well, like the pantry makeover and the supermarket thing. I think that's really cool. Very awesome. Well, thank you so much. Do get in touch with Tara. Give me the website again.
liveloveandthrivecoaching.com.
Love it. Fantastic. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for listening, and I'll be in touch again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.